It was actually right there. Yep. Yeah, right there's where I recorded that one podcast. It was nice and cool, which it's really cool out here now. And I remember getting water on me, and there's water running down, so maybe that's where it came from. Okay, so the jokes. Do fish ever get thirsty? If you know the answer, let me know. And, hiss. I forgot. And this one, I actually have the sound effect as part of the joke. A sheep, a drum, and a snake fell down a cliff. Ba-dum hiss. Get it? Yeah, good. Quotes. The key to success is playing your hand you were dealt like it was the hand you wanted. And I'm going to go over there. Wipe these spider webs off my face. That's the only bad thing about walking in this area. There's always so many spider webs. I've kind of referenced it before, how no one receives the same things growing up, and you have to appreciate what you have, but you also have to use what you have like it's what you wanted. Like, you can't sit around and complain that someone else got a better hand or anything like that. It's way better just to use what you have. I've got a low angle on this the entire time. It's better to just use what you have and, like, don't complain about it. Like, pretend like that's what you wanted and just deal with it. So we're gonna look off this little cliff edge here. Get some pretty fall colors. As I drop my camera and destroy the video. I can actually see how long this video is running doing it this way. Okay. So that's pretty much it for that quote. The other one, you don't have to attend every argument you're invited to. And this one's very true. Just because someone's, and this is big for like on the internet, just because someone makes a comment or is trying to rile you up or something like that, you don't have to bother with it. I mean, that's exactly what the majority of the people want. And if you're not going to change people's minds. I mean, very rarely, even in debates, they talk about, the debaters I've heard, like popular debaters, they talk about how you're not there to change the people that you're debating their minds. You're there to spread information to the public and maybe change the public's minds. And I'm kind of the mindset that the majority, well, at least for me, I don't feel like my mind can really be changed that much unless I find out new information. Like, if I discover information I didn't know, then yeah, sure, maybe I'll change my opinion. But a lot of times you can't reason somebody out of a position they didn't reason themselves into. But I like listening to debates and everything. But I'm just saying that you don't have to argue with every single person. A lot of times you're not going to benefit, and you're just giving them exactly what they want. So just let it go, like I said last time. All right, that's gonna be it for jokes and quotes. We're gonna go on to the Inside the Introvert section. So at work, I've mentioned that I'm on the little committee thing, and there's a council, and then each one has, and I think there's 5 committees. So each committee has 3 months that they're assigned to clean the fridges. And because I mean, we've got a ton of people that work for us, so the fridges get bad, people leave stuff in there, and it goes bad and starts to smell and everything like that. This is actually a different stream, although it might look very similar. That was a quick turn, I shouldn't have done that. So anyways, the last 3 months, I've been on the committee that's been cleaning though. And last year, it was me and the committee's president. We were the only 2 that were cleaning the entire fridges in the building. So there's 8, 12, about 16 fridges throughout the building. So that was quite a bit of work. It took me, I think, it took us about an hour every Friday. We just do it once. And I'm actually kind of ruthless. Like, we send out an email that says you need to put your name and date on stuff. And if you don't have a name and date on it, it's getting thrown away. And then when we go to clean it, they're like, well, kind of go easy and like give them a little bit more time and stuff like that. And for me, I'm like, no, we sent out the email that said no name and date. So if there's no name and date, I'm throwing it away. Like, there's no excuse. But we have to be kind of nice. And so I've gotten into the habit this time of, if I see something that doesn't have a name and date, I'll put a sticky note on it that says, please name and date this by the next Friday. And then if it's not name and dated, I have no qualms about throwing it away. So that's what I've been doing. But anyways, I wish you'd just put me in charge of it. The lady that sends out the email, because you have to get approved to send an email to the entire floor. And the lady that sends them out she's busy with stuff, I understand. But she set up an email reminder. For some reason, she set it up at 2:15 and it doesn't go out until 3, or we don't clean fridges until 3. But she set up an email reminder, and that's how I always remember. Like, I know I always snooze it for 30 minutes until it's like almost time to do the fridges. So I know exactly when it's coming up. And I function very well on email reminders. I don't understand why other people don't. But either way, she's constantly forgetting to send out the email. And it's annoying for me because I'm the kind of person that, even though I don't really have anything else that is going to interfere, if we're going to do it at 3 every week, and we've said we're going to do it at 3 every week, I want to do it at 3. That's just what we discussed. So leading up to 3 p.m. on every single Friday, I go into, like, 10 minutes before, I go into this annoying state where I just get frustrated because she hasn't sent the email out. I'm like, we need to give, for me, I would send it out at 2:45 every single day on the dot, and we would clean fridges at 3 o'clock. And that would give 15 minutes to anyone that needs to go and get stuff out of the fridge before we throw it away. But, okay, I'm back. I hit the 30-minute mark, and which I said earlier, I probably figured I would. But that's fine for this video. I always have to go watch the video because it cuts off a lot earlier than it closes the shutter. And I'm pretty sure I'm out of focus for a good portion of this video. For some reason, the camera likes to focus on the trees. Maybe if I held it more like this, it would focus on me. I'm not sure. But either way, I'm going to be a little out of focus, but luckily you won't have to suffer through a video like this again. And it's still kind of cool. I feel like the other parts of the video will outweigh me being out of focus the majority of the time. So anyways, I was talking about, and I can hear voices, so there might be someone coming this way. But at the same time, the other trail is like right there. Like they're very close together, so they might be on that one. And I'm also reaching the end of the trail. I could go, yeah, we'll go do that. So anyways, I'm gonna end the video by climbing this really brutal hill. And you can hear exactly how out of breath I get. So I was talking about the cleaning the fridges, and I'd send the email out at 2:45. That way I'd give everyone time. And I can't remember how far I got into the story, but it seemed like I'm glad that it's over with, because this week was our last week, just simply because I don't have to worry about the emails anymore. Like, I don't mind cleaning the fridges. I think I said it's weird, I don't know what part in the story I said what. But last year, it was just me and the president that cleaned all the fridges. And this year, I was just cleaning one fridge because everyone took over all the other fridges in the room I was in. And I was fine with it. I was like, I cleaned them all last year. I have no problem just cleaning one this year. And then one of the girls that cleaned most of them around me left the company, so I started cleaning hers. And someone came into the area I was cleaning on, because there's 8 of them, and she cleaned 4 and I would clean 4. And then she just kind of stopped coming in, which is, again, fine with me. So I started cleaning all 8 for the last couple weeks. And I'm fine with that. It's the waiting for the person. It's a cool tree. Waiting for the person to send out the email was my biggest annoyance out of all that. So we're gonna go on to the next one. our little council thing has a monthly meeting, and they decided to turn it into a potluck. And I've gotten burnt out on potlucks just because of my own team. They do one once a month, and that's just way too much for me. Like, I can't afford to constantly buy stuff enough to share, and like, because I don't even, like, I eat rice every day. I don't spend a lot of money on food, and I also don't cook hardly anything, so it's not like I'm gonna be able to cook a big dish or something like that. I just don't have the stuff required to do that because I don't do it. We're gonna do some water crossing here. Sorry, I couldn't talk and do that at the same time. So, and right now my team's discussing doing potlucks twice a week, or every 2 weeks instead of every month. Just like, whatever. So I decided just not to participate in potlucks anymore. And because of my values, if I don't bring something, I'm not gonna eat anything. Like, I don't eat anything at all. And even when people bring it up, I'm like, oh, I didn't bring anything, so I'm just not gonna eat anything. And so when they turned our meeting into a potluck, it was very annoying for me because they sent out several emails saying, even if you're not participating in the potluck, you still need to come to the meeting because it's our monthly meeting. It's like, well, that's stupid. And I don't mind people eating around me, but I was more worried about people like questioning why I wasn't eating, and then I'd have to explain the values, and they'd say it's stupid, just go get something, there's plenty of food. And I'm like, well, then I feel bad because I didn't bring anything, so I don't want to do that. So that's what I was worried about. And but it wasn't too bad. I want to show this tree too. This is like one of my favorite trees here. It's so cool. It's like a creature or something like that. Love this tree. It's like a little face. It's like, rah. Okay. It wasn't too bad. Whenever I went, the annoying thing though was they didn't start the actual meeting until like 15 minutes after the time it was supposed to start. So it was kind of like I had to just sit there, and I got on my phone and started playing on my phone. He's like, this is stupid. I'm fine not being on my phone if we're gonna actually meet, but just sitting around letting people eat, I'm gonna get on my phone because it was annoying. So the first 15 minutes were kind of annoying, but no one really questioned why I wasn't eating, and that's cool. And then they finally started the meeting, and it only lasted about 15 minutes. They discussed what they needed to discuss and then released us, so I immediately left. So it wasn't a full hour like I thought it was going to be, and wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. Wonder if you could see this spider. Nope. Darn focus. The last story, ironically, I'm going back to the flu from earlier this year that I referenced a little bit ago. That's one of my stories. I had forgotten that I put the story on here. I'm just gonna stand here. Hope that's not poison ivy. I don't think it is. But don't laugh at me because poison ivy can actually get that big, and it's all over the place. See, look. That vine is poison ivy. Like, it is all over the trees here, and I am indeed allergic to it. So I'm just gonna sit here while I do my last story, and then we'll go climb the mountain, and then I'll end it. So the last story is when I first got the flu. I mentioned that I was in denial about it, and I was like, no, I don't really have it. And I had scheduled a job, like I do manual labor stuff. I had scheduled a job with a guy that day that I first got it. It was a Thursday. I think it was a Thursday. Wednesday. It was a Wednesday. And so, like, I ate my lunch, and I ate rice with spaghetti sauce on it, so it was red. And probably about 2 p.m., probably about 1:30, I guess, I was going to get off at 3 p.m. to go work for him, so about 1:30 I got to feeling nauseous, and I don't usually get feeling nauseous, and I hate feeling nauseous, so I avoid it at all costs. And I was like, well, this is weird. And I thought maybe I just Maybe I didn't eat enough that morning, and I had just eaten a whole bunch at lunch, and that just made me not feel good. So, and I can't remember, I don't think I actually threw up at work, but I felt like I could at any point. I was eating like Pepto-Bismol and stuff like that. So, wasn't feeling all that great, but I was like, I'll be fine. I was like, I just need to get this job done with him, and I'll be all right. And for whatever reason, I'm able to work myself I go past my limits and end up getting nauseous quite a bit. Like if I'm running or riding a bike or anything like that, I can easily make myself throw up just on accident. And it's like once I get to that point, I can't really stop it as much as I want to. But as soon as I throw up, I'm back to feeling great. So it's weird, but it's been that way my entire life. I remember back in junior high when I was in track and we'd be running, I'd constantly get sick and have to throw up. So that's just part of it. And doing these manual labor jobs, I run into that quite a bit because I'll exert myself past the point I should and then end up getting nauseous. But so that's what I did, and the job was to dig a hole down. They had busted a pipe and it was leaking water, and I had to dig a hole down around it so we could cap it off, and everything would solve itself. So I'm there digging, and I started to get hot because this was, I guess it was spring, so it wasn't overly warm, but I overheated, and it was kind of like in a farm area, so I just kind of went behind the shed and threw up. And of course, it looked bad. Luckily, him and his wife weren't like standing out there because they were in and out of checking on me. And of course, it looked bad because I was throwing up red or spaghetti sauce rice, so it looked red and scary. But it's like whatever. So I kind of buried it and put some dirt on top of it and went back to digging. And then it happened again. I felt great after I threw up, so I went full blast and started digging and trying to get it all out. And this mud was unlike any mud I've seen before. Like it was the stickiest mud ever, and the hole kept filling up with water, so we'd have to drain it out, and it was a job. And but anyways, I ended up throwing up again. This time, him and his wife were standing there. I was like, "Hang on just a second," and I went over and threw up, and they could probably see it, and they're probably like, "What in the world?" And I was like, I think I'm just getting too hot or something. And I was still in denial that I was actually sick. It wasn't until later that night that I threw up again for no reason. Like I wasn't exerting myself. And so yeah, that was an extremely awkward, introverted experience. And I'll probably never work for that guy again. And that's perfectly fine. So it's always interesting when I do my little manual labor jobs. All right, I'm going to show you this log thing here, and then I'm gonna walk up this hill, and I'm actually gonna turn the camera around so you can kind of see as I'm walking up it, so you'll just be able to hear me, not see me. And I'm gonna go ahead and mention that there's an introduction video out there, so if you want some ideas on what my podcast is gonna be like, just go to the introduction. All my videos are on YouTube, so if you want to see what you're hearing, it's all on YouTube. All the older videos and podcasts are also on YouTube, so any of the older stuff, if you want to listen to it, it's on there. I put the newer audio versions on SoundCloud. They stay on there for like a month or two. And I've also got Instagram and Twitter, so I post like funny stuff on there, so if you ever want to check those out, or if you need to contact me for any reason, you can use those. I've been asking for movie recommendations, which I haven't received any because no one listens to this, but I think there's enough movies now with the end of the year that I won't really need recommendations. I mean, if you feel like it, feel free to throw them out, but I don't feel like I need them anymore. There's enough big movies coming out that I should be set for the rest of the year. So that's kind of going to be it. We're going to show you this real quick. All right, now we're gonna walk this hill. It's ironic because I'm gonna go up in it and come back down. But I'm gonna have to sit down once I get to the top and catch my breath. Because this hill is pretty brutal. I don't know if you'll even be able to tell the elevation in the video. but my heels are not touching the ground anymore. All right, getting close. Legs are burning. All right, we made it. It's very rewarding being up here though. All right, that's gonna be it for Silver Sea Review. Make sure to take care of yourself because there's only one you out there.